Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
8:07 and a half. And a half.
And I wasn't watching. And a half. Yay. Off to a good start. We're there.
This is the 4th day of February. February. Right? Did you hear that? February. In the year 2020, Anno Domini.
As Bob is cleaning up his mess over here.
This is the Den Ken's Den.
The views expressed by the host during his monologue are those solely of his own, not those of Westfield State University, who we were silent early this morning. Our underwriters, Westfield Community Programming Channel, the Radio Club, or JP, who has got something going on, and we wish him the best for his week. And now,
there's a wheel missing off of my chair.
as he breaks the chair.
There is.
There's a wheel missing off of it. That's dangerous.
All right, let's talk amongst ourselves
We will.
while he fixes his chair.
Well, you know what, Pete? I found
We need to
out
find out where the wheel is.
last week I was watching the video that Ken put up on Facebook, which
Yes.
you can all do later, or should you miss any part of this exemplary program. And here's what I noticed. I was wearing black glasses, and I had the microphone in front of my face, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh, my word, I look like that Groucho Marx thing that people put on with the glasses and the mustache. I've already got the big nose, so I'm trying to make sure I keep it down.
Look at the three of us with our reading glasses.
So this is the Den, Ken's Den.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, now that you're wheeling.
Uh-oh.
I do hope I get the MP3 soundtrack that goes with my drop.
What do you mean?
That's a bridge.
What are you talking about?
We need the sound effects that go along with the bridge.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. You know what, Pete?
What's going on, Ken?
Kathy? Robert?
What?
Yes, sir.
The big game.
Oh, it was great.
Game day. The big one. The championship. The Super Bowl. Meh.
I thought it was pretty good.
I watch it now and then when the local team is playing, so as to be able to keep up with water cooler chat. I cannot tell you the name of one single player on either of the two teams that were playing. You know, there's been a lot of virtue signaling in the ads. All right?
Virtual signal.
Virtue signaling. And I just can't.
It's making a noise.
Recently, they also started to release a lot of the ads early. So why bother to tune into a game so I could... why bother tuning into a game that I could care less about the outcome, right?
All right. Okay.
Oh, but Ken,
Oh, Ken.
what about the halftime show? Did you see who performed?
Yeah.
Shakira.
That would have been one performance that you would hope for a wardrobe malfunction on.
Oh, my.
Well,
Either one.
well, at least I would.
Malfunction on.
But no, that wasn't enough to get me to tune in. Besides, 10 minutes after the halftime show is over, you can go on to YouTube and see the entire thing. Yep, this was definitely a big meh from me. Although, after watching the halftime show after the fact, I have to say one thing. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Oh, my gosh.
But I think J-Lo's badonkadunk, which she is known for, seemed smaller than in the past. I don't know. Just my observation. Regardless,
My God.
I was much happier going through some stuff on my own DVR. The Worst Cooks in America.
Love that show.
Schitt's Creek.
Haven't seen it.
Lovely show. Beautiful.
Funny show.
Yeah.
Very funny.
SWAT.
Yeah.
Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty. Which I'm going to get to later on. All of that brought me much joy to watch. And I didn't go into the office on Monday with a hangover. For some reason, I just never really got into sports. My parents weren't into sports. I actually did Little League when I was in elementary school.
Really?
Yep. Got injured a few games in, and that was it. I quit. Do I not have an affection for sports? As I was always the fat kid wearing Sears Huskies that was always picked last? Or was always made the goalie? Did being the first target on your own
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And now it's time for therapy with Bob Plass.
Oh, who's that at my door? Would you mind going over and seeing who's there, Kathy?
Okay.
Oh, let me in!
Oh,
Let him in.
Bob, I think it's Ken.
Oh, hey.
Hey, I just wanted to stop by with some good news.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
Because you never seem to get good news
I know.
out of me, and I wanted to share some good news with you.
Okay. Have a seat.
I don't think Peter or Kathy are going to... I think this might be a meh for them.
Yeah. Tell me some good news.
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story.
AHS.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
1984,
Yeah.
which was the last one,
Right.
was so successful,
Yeah.
they've been renewed.
For how long?
Not just one,
Yeah.
multiple seasons. Multiple seasons renewal after that year.
It was really a very, very good one. This was one of the best.
To be precise, they got a 3-year extension.
Wow.
That does not happen with very many shows.
Oh my gosh, no, it doesn't.
No. So I just thought I'd share that with you.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled.
So we now know that we're going to have both Big Brother and AHS to talk about next year.
This is very, very good. But we're not going to have Big Brother Celebrity Edition, apparently.
That would have been over by now.
Oh, it would have been over by now.
Yeah.
What do we watch during this time? That we don't have anything to watch together, Ken. Although you did mention that Creek one. Are we allowed to say that on the radio?
It's SCHITTS.
Skits
It's their
Creek.
name. It's their
Skits.
name.
It's their last name is
It's
Shit.
hilarious. It's about a very, very wealthy family who loses all their money and they end up living in a motel. It's hilarious.
Oh,
What's
oh.
his name? Levy?
Oh, Daniel Levy and
Yes.
And his father.
The father.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then the woman that's in Home Alone.
Oh, she's so wonderful.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. They came from Second City or something. Oh, so from Canada. Both of them are from Canada. I think.
FCTV, yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of TV, where did my cheat sheet go to?
Oh, listen.
I don't have
wait
it
a minute.
anymore.
Hey, Ken, would you leave the $50 on the bureau before you leave?
Oh, it's right there.
I was the one who brought in.
The good news. Oh, you brought in the good news. Okay,
So you should be paying me.
I'm going to give you. I'll tell you what. I'll give you 5 cents for that.
Well, that's better than you overcharged him last week.
I did
No, 2
overcharge.
weeks
I
ago.
did overcharge.
2
So,
weeks ago.
All right,
got
so
that
we did have
nickel on the way up.
we did have the big game,
Yeah.
and and that the monologue wasn't just made up. I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it at all.
No.
I was at a party, so I ended up watching it, and I didn't make it. Oh, I made $13. 13, but I spent 42. So
gambling at something non-sanctioned by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is illegal in this state. Also, you are going to have to report that on your 2020 Mass Form 1 as additional income.
Oh, you really? Even if it's at a party?
Go ahead and keep bragging. But you know, one thing that is known with the Super Bowl are some of the commercials, and there are a few that I was just drawn to that I really appreciated.
I know one. Which is your favorite?
Well,
We're going to show you?
I'll get to my favorite, but I have a couple we need to go through. So we are going to go to the monitor, and the first video that we're going to look at, the first commercial, I call it Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Let's
Saw that one.
let's see Mountain Dew.
Okay.
Come out, wherever you are.
Oh, yes.
I'm not
remember
seeing
this.
it.
I've got new Mountain Dew Zero
Oh,
Sugar.
that's not.
Same refreshing
There we go.
taste
There
as
we
the
go.
original, but without any of the sugar.
That's Breaking Bad and Diana Ross's daughter.
Here's Mountain Dew Zero.
I am thirsty.
All right, so I played that for two reasons.
Oh my God! Yes.
I forgot about the second part. Okay, so I was drawn to that for two reasons. One, Breaking Bad.
Right.
All right. And
Who's that? Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston and The Shining. I mean.
Oh yeah, that was. He looked just like it.
Yeah.
That's so very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one.
But I also brought it up because it was about Mountain Dew.
Your favorite.
And I'm
He's busting my chops.
Yeah.
now.
There we go. Yeah.
You drink Mountain Dew.
I used to.
That used to be Pete's thing.
Oh, that was Peter's thing.
I'm trying to go to sparkling water.
And I thought I was doing something funny. I was at the supermarket this weekend.
Yeah.
And I saw that it was on sale for 88 cents, so I snapped a picture of it.
You didn't tell me what market, you knucklehead.
Well, you didn't ask. You didn't ask. You said nothing. He gave me the silent treatment after that, so I thought I pissed him off.
No, I was a little busy. I think I was working when you sent that.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So, I think my number 2 is the Walmart one. And the last year's is great, and I have the extended one so that we can compare it. But let's look at the first one, just titled Walmart.
Oh, I saw this one. This was cool.
Oh, this is Star Trek.
It's everything.
Oh, Toy Story. That's...
Quickly, get the big blue bag! Big blue bag!
Oh, is this the future? This is the present, future Bill. Here is your order, Bills. Excellent!
Oh, that's great.
Here are your groceries.
We come in peace.
Right? Coffee! 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 Whoa!
Where are they?
Yes, I do. I am quite aware they are lost. I don't know.
So there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one. I don't know how I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lots of movies in there.
A lot of
movies.
references.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That's coming out, by the way. Bill and
They're
Ted's
doing a
Excellent
second
Adventure
one.
3 is the third one.
Oh, is
The
it?
third one, I missed the
Yeah,
second
after
one.
how many years? 15, 20 years almost?
Ah.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 3 is coming out this summer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that one's really up high on my list. Now I want to compare it to last year's. Though.
Oh, I want to see.
Because
I thought last year's was cool, too.
Even though that was a real good commercial with a lot of references,
right?
Yeah, especially Mars Attacks. I love that.
That was great.
Yeah,
you know how much
we
they
come in
digitally,
peace.
they digitally removed all those from all the films. Those are all from the films. Like that was an actual Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That was actually pulling him out of the original movie. That was a line they did in the original movie. So that
those
was a
weren't
lot of
actors.
CGI.
Those were from the
Some
movies.
were actors, and some like his Bill, his current age, he was there. But then standing next to him was his character from 25 years ago.
It probably took 4 months to produce that.
Oh, yeah, God, yeah, to pull all the
Easily,
digitally, everything out digitally, yeah.
We're seeing again.
So that, again, a good commercial. I don't think they outdid themselves from last year, though. You decide for yourself.
Ghostbuster, Knight Rider.
Dumb and Dumber.
What's that?
Dumb and Dumber. Vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Gremlins?
No, that's Slimer.
Jurassic Park. Oh, Cinderella. Oh. That's Ghostbusters, right?
Bumblebee.
Love Bug.
No, that's Bumblebee.
Oh, Bumblebee.
Transformers.
What's happening?
It's the future, Michael.
Oh, I'm not Michael. Oh, don't worry. He calls everyone Michael.
Yeah.
So, I actually think that last
I
year's
think
was
they were
superior.
really good. They
Yeah.
tried to cram too much into this year's.
They
Too many
could've.
reference.
Yeah.
Oh, what's very good for Walmart. How much did they pay for those? It must have
$5.6 million per commercial.
So 5.6, but that was a minute commercial, wasn't
so then
it?
it was 11 point whatever.
Holy
1.2 million.
mother!
And that's just the cost to insert it, not to produce it.
All right, now
that was not.
Can I guess?
That was not cheap to.
Oh yeah. Could I guess your favorite commercial from this year?
Go ahead and try.
I think it's the Pakya Ka one.
No.
I loved that. Oh my God! With great
and you know what? I actually that was in my top 3 or 4. I failed to download that one because they pushed it on social media like a week and a half ago, so everyone was really.
Oh, you had seen it. Oh, okay.
But that is there's a lot of SNL alum on there, but
I love that.
It's all SNL alum.
Rachel Drach and company.
But
Dratch.
That did not.
What's your number one?
No.
Let's look at this. Oh, for you
ready?
radio
You wanna-
folks, the radio folks are
Do you
going
wanna
to
set it up?
Bob, I've decided to be television forward, and radio is just another piece of me. All right, you should welcome that with open arms. So there's only one video left.
I love your radio listeners. All right, here we go.
Check it out.
Jack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
Pringles.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people? Hardly anything. Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack. Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen, and I didn't listen. Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavors. Barbecue, wavy, and sour cream, and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
That's disturbing.
Remember about 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I mentioned a show, Rick and Morty.
Yes. Was that Rick and Morty?
That was Rick and Morty. All right. 3 years ago, I was kind of following them and into that before anyone even heard of them.
Yeah. Are they still around?
Now they're main. Yeah. They had 4 new episodes in October.
On what channel?
And it was like 2 years to come out with Adult Swim.
Oh. I thought that was a pornography channel. Adult Swim.
Adult Swim is
What?
nighttime Cartoon Network.
What is it?
It's nighttime Cartoon Network.
It's cartoons for the big kids.
Holy
that's
all this time I've been avoiding it because I thought it was a pornography.
That's
station.
that's
God, doesn't
Bob,
Adult
those things
Swim.
don't come for free.
That's where Family Guy and Black Jesus and Robot Chicken reside.
Adult Swim.
So Rick and Morty. Now you know.
I thought, well, they're out there doing the backstroke. I'm not watching it.
Okay.
Now you know who I'm talking about.
yeah,
now,
yeah,
when I
yeah.
say Rick and Morty, that's Rick and I was shocked as everything to see that.
Yeah.
On prime time during the Super Bowl.
Look at you. But
so now they're going to have people are going to go, who the hell are they?
Yeah.
And there's going to be more of a following.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because that means they'll keep coming out with episodes.
And now I can tune into Adult Swim and not feel that I have to go to confession the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
You are blessed.
We have blessed you.
So before
I'm leaving.
Before
I have to leave.
Before I kick you out, I want to mention something that I saw yesterday.
Yeah, what did you?
On morning television at 9 a.m. on CBS.
On CBS.
Are you digging what program I happen to see?
I do.
All right, in their opening.
Yeah. I saw this. I thought of you when I saw this.
I thought of you when I saw this too.
Yeah.
I have no
Regis and Kathy Lee.
Kelly Ripa, her mom still calls the show. Go ahead.
Regis and Kathy Lee.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yes. Yeah.
And then other people we're still referring to it as
Regis and Kathy Lee. Yeah, and they're the hosts of Regis and Kathy Lee.
I know. I know that. Bob.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So when I saw that, funny. I'm like, I'm hoping Bob watched that.
Oh yeah, I thought of you. Well, we had that moment. We had that moment through television. There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, before I leave, I gotta make a pitch for this weekend, for JPEG Luca, that the Westfield concerts at the Westfield Women's Club are happening this weekend. And it's Friday night. They're doing David Bowie which is a great Starman. It's a tribute to David Bowie. I just watched 2 great documentaries on his life. If I mentioned it in the 6 o'clock hour, David Bowie, the Finding Fame, and David Bowie, the Last 5 Years. Watch them. I think they're on Netflix. If not, check out Amazon Prime. But really great. So Starman is Friday night, and Saturday night is the Queen Experience.
Queen.
Yeah, with it's a tribute band for Queen, and I think the name of the band is, I'm not sure, but it's supposedly one of the best Queen tribute bands.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get a discount if you go on to westfieldconcerts.com. I think there's a 25% discount there. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, the Westfield Women's Club, that's your bailiwick. It's a small theater. How many does it hold?
Oh, it holds over 200.
Yeah.
Easily.
And we have wine and beer there that night. So I'm going
We
to
do.
see Queen. After seeing those, I really want to see David Bowie, so I might be at both, but Queen for sure. So if you all guys want to...
You get to meet my mom again.
Terrific.
She's going to be at the Queen show.
I believe I might be working both of those because I'm in town.
Wonderful.
So,
Wonderful,
yeah.
Kenny. We'll see you then. Leave your $50 on the table.
No, we've already been through that. You gave me a nickel today.
Okay. That's a tip.
nickel? He got away with a nickel?
He did. Yeah, Kathy, you didn't get
You know what?
anything.
Yeah, but you can double the fee next week.
It's
true.
I'm very respectful to my elders.
I love you. All
right.
Get out there and volunteer, my friend.
Pete.
See you next week. Who's on today?
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in That's Rockies, rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
8:39, and Kathy, I think I might be able to drag this out just a little bit. All right, 8:39 and a half.
Go. We're good.
Here on this fourth day of February in the year 2020, Anno Domini. This is Denken Stomsky. Behind the microphone or in front of the microphone, however you want.
It's probably not a bad thing.
Well, it probably is important to have a set of headphones on for something I'm gonna do in a few seconds.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah. Shame on me too. Shame. Know your name.
This is a pre-shamer.
Yeah, I'm taking the hit for it right now, ahead of time. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm listening.
But before I get to that, I didn't introduce. City. I have new city. It's a cross promo. This is a takeoff on the cross promo that you hear on other shows for Ken's Den, but it totally relates. Okay, I'm kind of setting the mode, but I'm starting to get things.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Going on a
kind of a
humorous level, but here is a special dedicated cross promo just for days like this. That ain't it. Where is it? This is it. Hey, this is Ken Stomsky from Propaganda Radio here on WCPC 15 and WSKB 89.5 FM Westfield.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
You consider what we go over here propaganda? I don't.
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
I will say that the voice over there with the individual that's saying community radio, he's saying communicative radio.
No.
Is he?
Yeah. He's saying with a British accent, community radio.
I think we got to retape that. That's my
That was something I bought like 10 years ago as a part of a production library.
Must have been cheap to buy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that cheap.
Hey, Brent, I want you.
Welcome back.
I want you to
Welcome.
listen. I want you to listen to something.
Don't do that.
Got
it.
That does sound like
Yeah, that's kind
of.
We're looking for
Reverberated here.
inexpensive ways of putting shock mounts on these microphones so that doesn't happen.
Got it.
So we're working on that. Pretty soon we'll be able to bang on the table all we want, and
Because we do a lot of that.
you've controlled yourself very good with that. You used to.
I know. Now that I'm doing away with my Groucho Marx look.
I have to admit, I haven't, been on the air in a little bit now, and as much as things change, things stay the same.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
Mhm.
You expect some things to stay the same, and this is one of them. And it's always comfortable and open.
Okay.
As long as we don't bang on the table, we're
can
good.
bust each other every now and again. I just hit Pete. I haven't seen Pete in a month, and I just took a slap at him. So it's it's all good.
Yeah, last time you were on was during the elections.
Yep.
Which we had, what was it, 17 or 19 hours, Pete, of filmed debate and forums
At least.
for that.
Easily. Yeah,
That's
we
great.
had a lot. I talked to some people in Springfield. They said they would kill to have coverage like that on their local elections. It was great.
Yeah,
Feather
listen.
in our
I mean,
cap.
it doesn't go unnoticed. People are watching. People are listening, and hopefully, it's informative enough for people to actually get them to vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important thing, right? And even though us incumbents, we don't really like that, but of course we say we really.
Nice.
T-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise. All of your academic
Money at Westfield Technical Academy. This is WCPC Channel 15 at 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And we are back.
Was that quick enough for you?
That's what I was expecting.
Okay.
All right. We didn't.
Brent, did you hear?
He was doing it again.
Did you hear Bob's cross promo?
I did. Yeah, I was listening this morning too. So. Great guest, by the way, with
Janine?
Janine Queenan.
She knows her travel.
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad she's doing something like this. It's
Yeah, she's a monthly Bob guest.
Yeah, I did traveling last month, and there was about 350,000 people where I went, and I got a bug or a cold or virus, whatever you want to call it, when I was out there, and I started to go down for the count my last night there. I was that butthead on the airplane that everyone hated. I became that person.
So nothing new.
Well, they hated me for my coughing, not my personality. But it was great because I was obviously ill, and because I buy my tickets within hours of them coming out, and I do the express check-in or whatever they call it. I was able to secure an exit seat row.
Sure.
And on all the flights back, I had that exit flight row all to myself. So maybe I'll get sick every time I want to, fly back.
Just fake it. Just fake it.
Just be alone.
Yeah.
Someone walks up and says, "That seat open next to you?" Yeah, sure. Sit right down. So every January, the council votes on a new president.
That they do.
Okay, I'm going to come out and ask it.
Sure.
All right. You did not get the full vote of the council after the revote that they have as a tradition usually, so that you have full council support.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I don't want to speak for the 4 or 5 that voted no again the second time. I know Councilor Niski, brought the motion up. Now, the reality is that, in my opinion, it's usually the vote that loses brings that vote up to say, hey, that didn't happen this time.
Oh, okay.
It was actually a person who won their vote because Bill voted for me. So there was a little bit of parliamentary stuff that was inappropriate, in my opinion. Nothing big deal, but that just, we're supposed to be unified, and hopefully we're on a good footing now, and we're moving forward. Obviously, a pretty contentious election. I think we have a great 13 members. But when it comes to that kind of ceremonial stuff, I don't want to speak for them, but you probably have to ask them. I'm sure some people were not happy that I became council president, and that's just par for the course. It doesn't deter me to put people in the right places. It didn't deter me to make sure that I had input from where people were like liaisons or where, people were going to sit as far as chairs or committee members. And you still make those right decisions and try not to get too petty with the discussion. Don't get me wrong. I've always been honest here, and it's irritating when that second vote didn't come through as 13-0 because I think it showed the public what I deal with on a day-to-day basis when it comes to the council.
Okay.
But
I'm not sure that they understand, people that are listening, what you mean. I know what you mean, and I know what happens. So they vote for you.
Yes.
They vote for, and then what happens?
Yeah, and then the second vote that comes out, 9 out of 10 times, being this time was the one time that it wasn't the 9 out of 10, comes out and you ask for unanimous vote to just move forward and say we're all behind this council, this person, whatever it might be, and it didn't happen this year. When that stuff does happen, it kind of helps you out a little bit because you want to make sure you're supporting people that support you and not making your job harder. That's for sure. But I took the tack that we need people in certain positions. We need people in leadership positions on that council. Even with the liaisons who are becoming more and more important to be part of that. And you just kind of put your fingers in your ears and. We had a public hearing on some storage facilities, storage tanks for Mass DOT. It went great. And I think everybody seems to be comfortable on where they are in the sense of liaisons and even seating arrangements. I did the seating arrangements.
Oh, we're going to be getting into all that.
Yeah. So,
all right. So we've gone through the election process in November. In January, we start a new council over. With maybe all original, people, maybe some newbies, but it's always a new council, and we've now elected the city council president. So now the next question: what does a city council president do?
Well, it's
and we have plenty of time.
And it's funny that being someone who sat there this is my 5th time doing it out of my 8 terms. So, and it's yearly, right? So we do it every year. So even midterm, we do another one vote. So it's not like you're there for 2 years. You're only there for 1 year. In our rules, it states that the council president picks the committees and liaisons, as I stated. They do the seating arrangements, and they run the meeting. That is true. There are a couple counselors who say that's all it is, and you move forward, and it doesn't there's not a pecking order of committees, there's not a pecking order of individuals. All that is true. The reality is that when you're sitting up there, and I know other council, I don't want to speak for other council presidents, but I know Ralph Figge has sat in that seat. I know Rick Sullivan had sat in that seat. I know, who am I missing? John Beltrandi had sat in that seat. They know you do more than that when you're there, if you're doing it correctly, in my opinion. Especially with now, I look at it as creating a pipeline in a communication way of discussing items with the mayor. I bring concerns from the council to the mayor. It's not something that we do behind closed doors or anything kind of that, people are like, well, why aren't you doing it on the floor? Well, the mayor's not at our meetings. And when certain, issues come up within the city, even for him, he uses me as a pipeline to communicate back to the council as a whole. So if you're not doing that properly, and you guys know this, even just what you do in everyday life, you have to build relationships moving forward. You have to build consensus around issues. You might not even agree with the issue, but still need to present the facts. You might have to call finance and say, hey, we have a late communication coming in. This is why the mayor, said, this doesn't happen often, but this is what happened and this is why we have to do it. If I'm not communicating that back to Chairman Figge in finance, the meetings become a little bit more contentious at that point, because it's like, well, where's the information, right? So you try to create those pipelines a little bit more efficiently, as well as, and this is where some counselors disagree, even with other departments, right? We got away from just having, if I have an issue, Dave Flaherty has an issue, John Beltrandi has an issue, and it's a quick question with the law department. We used to be able to go back and forth with that, with a quick question, hey, if I do it this way, is this okay? In my opinion, it helps with smoothing out any bumps, as far as process goes. It's a great way of doing things. But what happens is some counselors overwhelm department heads with a lot of this stuff. And some of it makes sense, and others it's more politics than anything. So we got away from it, and we got into, if you're going to talk to a department head and you want to do something, you got to take a vote. Trying to drag it back to be a little bit more informal. It's just for the quickness of the meeting or the efficiency of the meeting. All of that needs to be better, and then we need to show the public, as in my opinion, not just the residents but the business community, that we are amenable. Right, we are. We always throw out business friendly. Right, we always throw around. We haven't been good at it, but we always throw it around. Those words. So you have to show that even though you might disagree on, with somebody 70%.
How it happens to work right now.
Yeah, I mean, our rules really dictate all of it. It's not the charter per se.
All right.
The charter talks about how many years council president will serve, kind of thing, but it's all rules.
Okay.
It's all our rules. And no one really wants to hear this, but if you break a rule, the sky's not falling down, right? As long as there's 13 people out there that kind of say, oh, okay, we know the intent. We know what make things happen 2 weeks before, especially, again, I'll go back to the business side. time is money for these people.
Well, now, okay, devil's advocate here. Some people say, well, you do that, you're just rushing things through and
Correct.
not letting us do the process.
Yeah, and I agree with that statement. That happens, and that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And some people use parliamentary procedure to do that kind of stuff. But the day and age of watching this stuff on TV now is here, right? We're on Facebook, where you can tell during a meeting why you're doing something, in my opinion. So I think when I talk about being for their business, that takes months.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not even about, you want to open a liquor store, right? So we zone it, we build it. Then you got to go to the liquor commission to get that's one thing. But when you have to go through the planning board and the council, in all honesty, to get the same permit,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I hope we can project. If I can do anything in this year, is to project that we are a stuff up. They do a yeoman's work on some businesses, but we should be packaging all this stuff up, including our water rates and sewer rates and permitting and open land and whatever it might be, and figuring out how to market that and moving forward. We have to hire a position to do that.
You need to hire another Joe.
Correct.
All right, and we can talk about that later on. 9 o'clock and a half, WSKB 89.5 FM Westfield. We'll be back right after this.
Burn down the store, take what you want and more. Shop until you drop, voodoo consumer never stop. Load up on supplies, no sale, no compromise. Gun crazy down the mall, voodoo consumer take it all. Eat this, drink this, try this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step right up and take it, it's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. 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 Drive me to the bank, kneel down and give me thanks. Grab your credit card, voodoo consumer, kiss me hard. Eat this, drink this, try this, charge it, it's fabulous. Step right up and take it, it's fabulous. If you can't afford it, fake it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously cool. Let's make it fabulous. Too late, voodoo consumer terminate. Eat this, drink this, try this, buy this, wear this, fly this, play this, charge it. make it. Be deviously dangerous, ridiculously marvelous, meticulously treacherous, disarduously cruel. Just make it fabulous.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, it's Bob Plass, and I have Wow, It's Tuesday every Tuesday, 6 to 8. Wow, it's Tuesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
I did it!
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
9:05 on the nose.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, you weren't looking.
I'm going to get fired.
It is the fourth day of February in the year 2020. Anno Domini, this is the Den, Ken's Den. You know where I learned how to say February?
Where did you learn that?
In shul.
In school.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know what? I'll just give it to myself, Pete, right now. Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
And what else did you learn in school?
Oh,
What?
Don't get me going on that, Kathy.
Okay. All right, I won't. And celery? Celery? How do you say celery? How do you say it?
Celery.
Celery. How do you say it?
Celery?
The guy in the TurboTax ads calls it something else.
Well, it's colloquial to say celery, and those things I
that's true.
understand. Yep, celery, not celery. And actually, it was a Roselli in my class that said celery. It's celery, Mrs. Palmer. I said, no, it's celery. And the other teacher said, Kathy, they've been selling it on their farm for years. He can say celery. Okay, celery.
I think there's a soda brand out of New York City and it's celery flavored soda, but it's spelled celery.
Celery. Well, we had the Roselli farm here for years, but we're losing all our farms there, Brent.
Slowly.
Some states are losing hundreds of farms
it's too
a
bad.
year. And when it's all gone, we'll be sorry. But we do have a lot of farmland on the north side.
We do. We really do.
A lot of open land up there.
Yep. Yeah, we do, and it's I still scratch my head, in some way, shape, or form on the zoning of the properties too, because a lot of it, not a lot of it, but a portion of it is one over our aquifer, and two, it's zoned commercial.
Really?
Yeah. So you're kind of like, why did people set the city up a certain way? And we're plagued with it a little bit, but
it's kind of
it's not like we have to react to that. You know,
it's like setting yourself up to fail.
It really is. I mean, maybe 100 years ago was a little different, right? They weren't really concerned about the environment like we are today, but it is strange. It's really strange.
Back then we were throwing McDonald's styrofoam burger holders out of our car windows. I mean,
oh yeah, we dumped everything in the river.
Yeah.
We dumped all that snow.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something that's not out of sight at a council meeting is where people sit. See what I did there, Kathy?
I did. Segue. Whoo, we slid right into that.
Yeah. So did you go ahead and mess with the seating arrangements?
I did, yeah. All right. I don't know if I used the word mess, but yeah.
I would.
Nothing I would admit.
I will.
Nothing I would admit to, anyway.
Yeah.
But it's something that the council president does. We've done several. I mean, throughout my years, it's done different ways. The first time I got on the council, they did it just pull a number out of a tin hat, right, or out of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the way it was for a few terms. And then, maybe first 8-10 years, probably. And then we started, I think it was Brian Sullivan started having it where the L&O chair is on one side and the finance chair is on the other from the council president, for a couple of reasons, in my opinion, and maybe some other presidents have it. But a lot of things go through those two committees, by design, right? And a lot of times it's the more seasoned counselors who also chair that. So if I need to step down to discussion an issue, because as a council president, you're not allowed to have the back and forth like other counselors do. I'm not allowed to just take liberty on the microphone. You do sometimes just for ease and speeding up a meeting, but if I'm going to speak for 5 minutes on a meeting, on a topic, I usually sit down. I change seats. There's a pro temp who comes in, not on a vote, just to run the meeting while I'm talking about an issue. So I know Bill Oniski, who's my L&O chair, can do that. I know Ralph Figge, who did it before, is my chair of finance, can do that. This way and they're comfortable to do it. Some people just don't want to ever be in that big chair. It's not something that it's in their makeup and they don't want to do it. So you don't want to force anybody to do that kind of thing and make them feel uncomfortable. And in this way, I don't have to walk around and go to somebody at the end. It's just for convenience. So with that being said, that and then it in the last few years we've had the last couple presidents, Beltrandi and Figge being the two, because I hadn't been in the last 2 years. I was 3 years ago. They kind of arranged the way they wanted it. People around. So I took that as like, okay, let me try that. I haven't done that yet. Let me move some people around. We had some new people.
Now when was it when John did it? He put seasoned people next to unseasoned people so that they could help them out.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was John's kind of method, right? I'm not sure on Ralph. Probably something similar. And it's the same thing with me. So obviously we have Rick and Jimmy who are coming back from the council. Some rhyme or reason. I know John Beltrandi and Bridget Kane Matthews know each other, and John's a seasoned guy, and they've known each other even outside the council. So I said, all right, let's get them together. I know there'll be a good give and take there because a lot of times when you're sitting there and you don't, you guys know, you watch the meeting and you're like, what just happened? Well, it's the same thing for us at times. When new counselors come in to watch where they're going to sit, you don't know what's going on. You really don't. So I remember my first year on the council, I didn't say anything to anybody, and I took it in. And matter of fact, if you did say something, they kind of looked at you funny, like, why are you opening your mouth?
Okay.
That doesn't happen now. Everybody's equal, right? There's no pecking order anymore, right?
Yeah.
Even though
I can just picture Len going like,
oh, no doubt.
Why are you talking?
I had Adam Liptak put his hand on my knee. And Adam Liptak is one of the best guys you'll ever meet, but that's the way things were done. Appropriate or not? Well, that's another discussion.
And then the third one across the way, Charlie would just be shaking his head no.
Oh yeah. He'd throw you in a headlock in the parking lot. Yeah.
Charlie would just tell you, no hands.
So when you start building that out, like even with so Rick being, I knew Kristen Mello is very involved with the water or the natural resources of the city, right? So who better to put her next to Rick Sullivan, who was commissioner of DCR.
Okay, I see
right?
that. Yeah.
Right. So, and after a while you start feeding it out and some people like where they sat last time. And, some people, it's very, I don't want to use this word, but it's just not a right word, but the safety of it all. Like some people are sitting with their backs to a door. Right. And
I don't
like
that.
Yeah.
My OCD would not allow that.
And so we have a couple counselors that were just like, I don't like that. I rather have my back to a wall, and you try to be accommodating that way.
Yeah.
So, and as you filter people in, they sit where they sit. And, I think, I don't want to say everybody's happy, but I think most people are happy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. 9:13 and a half. I'm close enough to my quarter after. We started to talk about subcommittees and assignments. So we'll dive into that when we get back.
Hold on tight to your dream. Hey, hold on tight to your dream. When you see a ship go sailing, when you feel your heart is breaking, hold on tight to your dream. Say long time to be gone. Hold on, hold on. Time just rolls on and on. Hold on. Hold on tight to your dream. When you get so down that you can't get up, and you want so much but you're all out of luck. When you're so downhearted and misunderstood, just over and over and over you could. Accrochez-toi à ton rêve. Accrochez-toi à ton rêve. Quand tu vois ton bateau partir, quand tu sens ton cœur se briser, accrochez-toi à ton rêve. When you get so down that you can't get up, and you want so much but you're all out of luck. When you're so downhearted and misunderstood, just over and over and over you could. Hold on tight to your dream. Yeah. Hold on tight to your dream. Yeah. When you see the shadows falling, when you hear the cold wind calling, hold on tight to your dream. Ooh, yeah. Hold on tight to your dream. Yeah. Hold on tight to your dream.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at Rockies.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Yeah, we're not going to hit it.
Oh, well, now I could sing you a song or something. Not very well, but I could try. I could work on it. Hey, I beg your pardon. Wait a minute, Ken, go.
9:18 on the nose.
There you go. You're welcome. Your computer there.
So, Brent, how did we go about making up the new subcommittees?
I pretty much the way I do it every time. One, you hope there's some interest, right? You hope there's some interest to serve on a certain committee. I also left people where they were a couple years ago, even last year, for that matter. I think there's some familiarity that's valuable with the committees. And I also moved some people around because I didn't really care for the way things were going last year, and I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit more of a different environment and give somebody else an opportunity to kind of chair something and be on a committee that you've maybe never been on. I mean, that it's a balance. And Chair of L&O has been Bill Oniski for the last few years. He's taken ownership of that committee. It is a daunting processes that happen when nothing against Mayor Humison. It's just you're new, and the processes will avail themselves as you go. But Ralph, and he was acting mayor for a few months, right? So he understands the city hall, and I think being that finance is so important to the city and towns. Ralph is the guy, in my opinion. And he takes the time to really immerse himself into a lot of it.
So you bring up the two biggies right here, L&O and finance. So who else is sitting on L&O right now?
So I'm just making sure I don't forget here. I have it on my phone.
I should have asked if you knew that off the top because everything is kind of new.
I'm good. I'm not that good. So Mike Burns, who sat on it last year, left him on there. And who am I missing? Oh, Dan Alley.
Okay.
So Dan, that's a different. Actually, that's not true. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
Finance is Figgy, Dan Alley, who was on it before, chaired it prior to me, and Rick Sullivan. Harris, who chairs PAC, and I've chaired it. She has really been great for that position. I think some counselors were concerned about just kind of reappointing people and doing stuff on the fly, and she's been amenable to a lot of different criticisms out there, and she's molded this committee that I think everybody. I have yet to hear anybody say that she's not doing the job. She has HR background too. So, we hire. You got to remember, like all the stuff. It's not just about, reappointing a police commissioner. We also hire a treasurer. We hire an auditor. There's positions, big positions that will go through that committee, and she has done a fantastic job with that. So that's where I get a little concerned. Because
and she gets the city as well because, she comes kind of. Do I want to say a political family here in town?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Can I say that?
Her husband was former mayor, Mike O'Connell. Yeah. Passed away a few years ago, and so she's aware of that as well. And you have to. I know people think politics or the political piece is this like dirty word. It's entrenched in everything we do. Everything we do. So you got to know how to navigate that and be appropriate. And she does that very well. Very well, because don't get me wrong. There's always outside pressure to hire somebody. Always. And she has made it about the individuals and the search process. And you can't really, she'll never get us in trouble. Ever. ever.
All right. Other committees?
Yeah. License is out there with John Beltrandi. Being someone who is in the business of commercial real estate. Right. He does a lot of those. It could be, and we got to change some of these names, like a junk dealer's license. Junk dealer's license, like covered.
And why'd it take forever for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nasty thing. You're not dealing with junk. It might not be something that someone doesn't want, but it's not junk, and it's just a catch-all. It's a catch-all, and it's something that's built into our.
Did we change some of the wording there to pawn at some point?
Yeah.
Don't quite remember.
I don't remember either. And I'm having some problems with my phone here, so I apologize.
I think it's because of the building. Sometimes the buildings have a lot of firewalls and things.
Oh, it's not firewalls. It's signal strength in here, and I don't think
I have tried.
I don't think Beaner's ever logged on to our own personal Wi-Fi in here.
I probably haven't yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
I have trouble too if I don't log on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, license has John Beltrandi. I want to say Megan. I always say Megan Kane because that's our former treasurer, but Bridget Matthews Kane. And I'm not.
Yeah, we have to be sure because that social media will twist it all
I
around.
don't care. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, and I'll be getting into that too later.
Yeah,
on.
great.
But I'm saving that for the end for you to have a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah. And then I know I put Dave Flaherty back as chair of zoning, planning, and development. Just being someone,
well, he likes I's dotted and T's crossed.
Yeah,
and that's very important there.
Yep. And then just to go back to the idea of being, council president and winning 8-5, which was the vote. Dave didn't support me for council president. I made him chair because that's appropriate. Now I do wish Dave. I put him on long range finance as well as myself and Bridget Matthews.
And Dave has been preaching about long-term finance ever since I can remember.
So that's the stuff you have to do.
That's fitting for him.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when people say, people get petty, and you really can't. You got to put people in the right spot. I'm not saying it doesn't go in the back of my mind that I'm like, well, that person didn't support me, but you just got to do what you got to do. And then there's natural resources. I
bet I know who you put on there. I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you put Kristen on that one, right?
Kristen is on natural resources.
Makes sense.
Yeah. See, now I it's normal thinking. You put someone who would benefit that subcommittee on that subcommittee.
Yeah.
Well, they have an interest. They have a vested.
Well, and the reality is that I made Nick Morganelli chair of natural resources for a couple of reasons. One, Nick's been on the council for quite some time. He's chaired other committees. I don't think he's ever chaired natural resources, but he's in Ward 1. And Ward 1 has been
Aquifer.
It's been a hot topic in that, and I couldn't, the next person would have been Bill Oniski because of Ward 6, right? Or water.
This mountain
right?
area, yeah.
But, and natural resources isn't always just water, right? But Nick's got a very diverse ward up there, and you have everything up there: residents, business.
That's my ward. We have businesses, we have homes, we have farms, we have open land, we have water, we have the river, we have brooks and streams and roads
and dams.
No, my dam is gone.
But there's another dam up there that needs a lot of work.
Mine is gone, and I got news for them. It did wash all the silt down. They told me it wouldn't, but it did. Oh, well.
Well, and right. We always add those aprons to driveways these days because what's happening is everybody's road is getting repaved and it's growing beyond, and then all the water dumps into the people's houses, so if you need an apron fix, we should talk about that.
No, I need a whole dike, I'll tell you, because my concern, as I said, I'm the only house that was on the brook that came out of Moose Meadow, and it came out of Toccoa Reservoir.
Oh, okay, sure.
And they were going to take the dam down, and they finally took it down. But the plan was, and I got this from Heather Staten, the plan originally was the city was going to take it down gradually and clean out the sludge behind it. But the state didn't okay that plan. So then the plan was to take it down, but then they didn't okay that plan because they had to wait to make sure they didn't endanger any rattlesnakes, because they're really friendly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. There's a roaming box turtle that affects a lot of
So
those properties
it finally
too.
happened, but then the state said, no, we're not going to dredge out all the silt.
Right.
Now, the last time that reservoir was dredged out was in the 1970s.
Oh, wow.
They used to clean it and drain it every year, but it went offline in the 70s. You weren't using it for anything other than fire control.
Yep.
It was being used to take water for fires on Toccoa Mountain. So after that, now you've got what? 50 some odd years of sludge building up behind the dam. So then they took it down, and their plan was, well, Heather said, we hope, and they don't know.
Right.
I understand.
Yep.
But they hoped that it would all wash out before it hit the turnpike. And I said, well, the only problem is I'm the only house on the brook. So needless to say, I'm what they call low collateral, which means I'm the only one that's going to drown. It's okay. There's only one house. We're good for that.
One for the many, is that what we're talking about?
One for the many. And my thought was, if you raise the bed of the brook, you're going to raise the level of the water.
In the mafia, that's called dispensable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pawns.
I'm collateral damage. So I'm watching it, and yes, there is a lot of silt. I can see it. There's a lot of silt on the brook. And then she said something about now the state wants to lay silt down all the way down the brook. But, and I'm not sure I have this right, so my apologies to her if I've got it wrong, but what the state has to understand is when that brook goes, Brent, it rips. I mean, it rips. So anything you lay down first,
it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
But I have no idea. So you're right. The north side has a tremendous.
It's a very difficult place to navigate, no doubt. You got a train going through, right? I mean, it's all this thing, So, with Nick being up there, listen, Nick's going to get the calls anyway, being in Ward 1. So why not make him part of that natural resource process?
Makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So we've established that you used reasoning to assign people in the subcommittee.
Well, reasoning is, but some people might disagree with my reasoning. So
all right.
That's all I can say.
Well, always will.
9:31. I've got a few more things to bring up. We'll talk about where we're going to go during the break. Pete, take us away.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Listen to me, Michael Buster McMahon, Mondays 8 to 10 a.m. to learn the stories behind your favorite songs. Or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
9:37 on those. Yes, Kathy. Brent and I did used to slide down Suicide Hill at Sadie Knox Playground.
That's now, for those of you who don't know, the backside of Sadie Knox on Prospect Street is almost straight down with trees and bushes and rocks and
We've got issues.
Did your parents know you were doing that?
No,
I don't think they cared.
No, none of our parents knew what we were doing at all ever. We just when. 8 in
out
the morning, we left the house,
That's
and we
true.
came home at supper.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So true.
We didn't call
My
them every
parents
5
just thought,
minutes.
I'll quote Jerry Seinfeld, like, my parents thought I was just like a raccoon. They knew I was there. They could hear you a little bit, but that was it.
But they didn't know what you were doing.
They had no idea.
Nor did they care.
So,
And you know what? They grew
go
up
ahead.
the same way.
I have a couple of other, just for full disclosure.
Okay.
Just a couple other just committees that were chairs. Long Range Finance is Dave Flaherty. City Properties is Cindy Harris. And Government Relations is Rick Sullivan. And then I had Mike Burns as Public Health and Safety.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the chairs. Those are some of the smaller committees out there.
Gotcha.
Good to know.
All right. Well, this is where we can say anything, or you can say anything you want to your social media fans, and for those of you watching, I'm doing the air quotes. All right.
Yep.
You know, they have openly accused you of many things, which I'm sure you're aware of. But social media members claim that the new city council is still mostly a good old boys club, and if you're watching 15, I'm using the air quotes again, and that nothing will change with how the city operates. All right. Now we know there are places where improvement can be made. And I'm giving you an opportunity to address this.
Yeah, good old boys networks. We just elected 3 women on the city council, so that there's a strike one already in that particular case with Harris, Kane, and Mello, which is the first time in a long time we've had this many women on the council. It's strong, educated, bright people who have the city's best interests at heart, like all of us. But I think that was amazing thing. We also had, we had a couple of older counselors, not older, well, they are older, but older counselors come back. Yeah, come back with Rick Sullivan and Jim Adams. And then, like I said before, other than myself having, I always screwed up, but 18 years in, and then Dave, I think Dave is the next person in line, maybe with 12 or something like that. Mm-hmm. He might even have a little bit more. So when they say the Good Old Boy Network, like 2 years ago, I had like 10 counselors with 4 years or less. So what good old boy network are we talking about?
Well, that's what.
Yeah,
that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going years of time, it's when I first got on the council, I was surrounded by individuals who, and not just guys, right? There was women too, with like Barbara Russell and Barbara Swords, right?
Yes. I've been on for Aunt. Yeah.
They were. You're talking about people that all had 20 years plus. Charlie Medeiros, Lenny Burlingame, Bill Chiba, Adam Liptak.
Holmes one?
Angie, I had just missed Angie, so I wasn't part of it. Brian Sullivan might have served with her.
Angie Holmes.
So all these people came on, then it was, and some of those counselors were very good counselors. And so when you look back at our stuff now, I'm it. So, and Dave, when we talk about a decade of service, so that it's just rhetoric. And I will always be vocal about the Facebook and the social media stuff. There is a lot of trolls out there that it's just inappropriate, and a lot of it should be taken down and shouldn't be even put on that stuff because it's just not right. It's just not right. So when you start saying the Good Old Boy Network, all I can say is wait and see. Watch the meetings, see how things are flowing, see how these dedicated counselors are approaching issues and hopefully making things happen. We've been stuck in the mud for 4 years, maybe even a little longer. And I think this council has made it, made their directive of saying that we are going to move the city forward. It could be on finance. It could be on zoning issues. It could be on natural resources. But we need to show the surrounding community, that's including our own, that we want to make Westfield a better place. And I know it sounds, my election's 2 years from now, so I'm not on my soapbox, but we need to get better at it. And we're going to have to make some tough decisions. It might be cutting some budgets or citing a business, whatever it might be. I think this body is willing to do that. And I think politics always play in decision makings, and I will never say it won't, but that is not the first thing that comes to mind when I talk about this council.
Mm-hmm.
We have some bright people. We have some, very dedicated individuals on this board, more so than I've seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not going to be the council president, 5 years in a row, right? We don't see that anymore. We see rotation. Last time they said they wanted to see a rotation on who did it or who didn't do it. I commend Nick for wanting to do it. It's not easy, and you've got to be fair, and you've got to say sometimes to residents and counselors, okay, time to move on. We got to get moving. So, and it's just not the easiest.
Now, it's interesting that you said that we were stuck in the mud for 4 years. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, and I know everybody thinks I'm pointing to people, right? Oh yeah, these people were holding us up, but we were stuck where nobody wanted to make a decision on a topic. Gotcha. It was always, what about this? What about that? There is a time you need to make a vote with the information in front of you and move forward. And I think you're going to see more and more of that in the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You gave yourself an exit time, and I have a few more minutes to go. So this is where I'll just like during the elections, I put you up on a soapbox, and you can mention anything you want, even how you think the $1.8 million that we got for water contamination is going to be spent. Not trying to give you a topic, but if you want to bring that up.
Yeah, no, I mean, water, I think we're in a good place. We've got a long way to go in the sense of recouping monies for the filtration process that we're doing. We've talked about that enough. I mean, I want to talk. And it's not that it's not important, but I think we're in the right path to rectifying our situation in the city of Westfield. I want to make sure that in my push forward is two things. One, there's a construction piece that needs to happen in the city of Westfield. There's a couple of facilities that need to be replaced, upgraded, whatever you want to call it. And that's our new high school once we get this elementary school up and going. And we need a new police station.
Oh, God, yes.
It's in the police station. We've been banging that drum for years. So if we can get our hands around the next steps of those two buildings, I know people bang the drum about.
In Sackett Street?
Where am I thinking? Is that what you
Water?
like the old?
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, the water building.
Yeah, across. See, I don't.
I think last I heard or read, nobody wanted that building.
Right. So I think we're surplusing a piece of that building. That might be. It used to be the G&E. My dad actually had an office there years ago.
Yeah.
And there was I think it's even the automotive where they did all the auto body stuff for the G&E. That building, there's a corner building there that we surplus. So we need to start cleaning.
Okay.
You get nervous about cleaning that building up too. I mean, I'm sure there's some dirty soil.
That was the old fire department garage at one time.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
So some of that stuff.
So we're going to have to deal with that at some point.
The other piece for me is that we need to get our hands around attracting Westfield to business and residents to come here. We need to do that. We need an office. We need positions. We need money. We need all those things. We need an evaluation of open property, buildings that we can come down or get renovated or the city can take over, whatever it might be. We need to get our arms around that. And to go back to the stump speech is that we need to find a way to utilize all our resources. That's coming from an airport. It's coming from city water, sewer. There's nobody around us that has these assets. Nobody. Nobody. We have open property that can be used for development. We have a hospital in town that people utilize. Like, I can't begin to tell, or in a waterway and a rail trail. And I mean, we just go on and on and on. So we've done the infrastructure piece. I'll tell you that I'm tired of driving around cops and cones and because of all the upgrading. I mean, I want to see us just maintain what we have rather than develop more. But and that's coming from the road side of things because we can never do enough there.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see us move past that and get into more of the business side and really start getting the tax dollars from those commercial properties. And hopefully, and people are right, you can't just cut your way out of a financial problem, and you can't grow your way out of it. You have to have a balance of everything. And I think with the minds that we have on this council today, we will be doing that moving forward.
All right, that sounds like a good plan. Brent Bean, I want to thank you for spending some time with us this morning.
Yeah, listen, it's always a pleasure. I love being on here. You guys are allow us to kind of just talk away and explain our positions, and rather than just push us to something. Even though you tried to get me to talk about the water again, you're a little sneaky like that. I know you. So, but overall, it's always a great conversation. So I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Brent.
Pete.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Hi, this is Harry Rock, host of Rock on Westfield every fourth Wednesday at 8 a.m. Tune in for my view of this place I call home.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
You have prison pen pals? Yes, a lot of people write prisoners. Even Hollywood celebrity Cal Penn. Cal Penn writes a prisoner? Yeah, Ken lives in California. You've never heard of Cal Penn's pen pal Ken in the Cal Penn? How could I possibly have heard of Cal Penn's pen pal Ken in the Cal Penn? Through this song. Well, I do get a yen every now and then to pick up a pen like my pal Cal Penn, and a note I will send every now and again to my pal Big Ben, who is locked in the pen because he beat up some men and he got 5 to 10, and he'll do it again. Da-da-da-da-da, Cal Penn. Who was that for? What are you talking about? Phil Spector's in this prison.
Kid, I know talent and shooting waitresses in the mouth, and you've got talent. We're gonna make a record.
And I still haven't cut out that last orchestra hit at the end.
That's
there.
fine. That's a good bump.
All right.
Oh my!
You've been busy again.
Well, that's not a new one.
No, I've never heard that one before.
Yes, you have.
I have?
Yes, you have.
Well, it's an age thing. Maybe I forgot.
Yeah, you definitely heard that one before.
Oh, my God. That's a funny one. It's a good one. It's a good one. Thank you very much. As always, you make me laugh.
Well,
sometimes when you don't mean to.
I actually downloaded New Year's Eve. I downloaded about 15, maybe 20 clips that I need to cut down.
Okay.
I started to do it on the airplane when I went to Nevada. Laptop just wouldn't work. I need another laptop. There's an issue with it. So I wasn't able to edit it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get back, and I had to make that movie, or that film. And then other things just came up, and then I was sick.
Life gets in the way, right?
So I have like 15 or 20 new sound clips coming out that I have to edit.
Will you warn us before you use them, please?
No, he won't.
No, I won't, because you're going to get another one right now because of what you said earlier.
You know, I think you should all be nicer to Will Wheaton. The way I treat
my colleagues. Favorite.
Wait, what? I said you ought to be nicer to Will Wheaton.
You mean Will Wheaton?
Yes, Will Wheaton.
Why are you saying it like that?
What? I'm just saying you should be nicer to Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton seems like a nice guy.
Say wheat.
Wheat.
Now, say Will Wheaton.
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 Hey, did you hook up with Whoopi Goldberg on the show?
All the time.
All right,
Patrick Stewart.
So I actually played that clip for two reasons. One because you were whoo-in me earlier.
What?
But I also wanted to ask you guys. Let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Am I the only one here watching Picard?
No.
Yes.
All right, so you're watching it.
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
Okay, that's all that are out right now.
Well, what did you think?
Mm-hmm. It's dark.
Really?
It's a different animal.
It's dark, kind of like the Star Trek Discovery that CBS is running. There's a dark side.
But did you notice this one is produced by a Hampshire College graduate? Executive produced?
Didn't really. If I saw the name, I wouldn't know that.
Eugene Roddenberry?
Oh, yeah. I saw the name. I'm like, oh, that's his grandkid or
No,
something.
it's his kid.
Oh, okay.
Son.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Went to Hampshire College, yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
All right. So it is dark, and I think I think we have to sit through 1, maybe 2 more episodes while we're stuck on terra firma until we actually get up into a ship and start flying around.
I don't know. It looked like the next one might be a half and half.
Mm-hmm. Now, after that first episode, and you saw the cube at the end, did you also go, "Oh my God"?
Yeah, I thought about it with the reintroducing the character of the Borg. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a return of the Borg, and it was just the Borg ship.
Oh, okay. Because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
it's interesting they're trying to make that a new Romulan homeworld.
Yeah, and the other reason why Will Wheaton was just played is that Will Wheaton, he does an after Picard breakdown of the
podcast,
show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I did not watch it. I wondered what that young man was doing.
That's what he's doing now.
Good for him.
And I've also noticed that BBC America is running DS9 now.
Yes, they finally got that in the fold.
Yeah.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the last of the regular series. Well, Enterprise kind of was,
Yeah.
but the last of the '80s type series.
Yeah, and
those
that's when they started to get a little bit of darkness because, as you might remember, they had a ship on there with a Romulan cloaking device called the Defiant, and it was the only battleship that the Federation ever built, and it's a badass ship. And I was watching an episode last night, and I'm like, all right, they're out in the Defiant, going out and kicking butt. And when this show when DS9 first came out, Star Trek had did and
Well, and you can only go so far with the storyline of a space station.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
All right, so if any of you are up in the air about watching Picard on CBS All Access, you get the thumbs up from my producer?
Yes.
Okay, and you get the thumbs up from me, so it's something that I'd spend the $5.99 a month on or whatever it is, and start watching.
Go for it.
I never thought I'd have to pay for Star Trek. Seriously.
Well, you're paying for two of them now, technically.
I know, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Discovery wasn't enough to make me switch.
Yeah. All right, next week, Hope from the paper will be in here, and that also happens to be my Valentine's Day broadcast.
Oh, goody!
And now that we're video based, I think we may have some slides of the 2020 Valentine's Day hearts coming out.
Oh no!
I've got to work on those this week.
Peter, I think I'm going to be ill next week.
Can I be ill too?
2 weeks from now, Chef John will be in. And Pete, for my outro, I have a quick version and a long version. Might need the short one today.
Both are loaded.
All right. 3 weeks from now, I'm thinking of setting up Making the List. I need to get in touch with Basha to see if she can make it because she is currently the title holder.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
All right. That is about all the time I have for you folks. I will catch you next week.